Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. Man, this week is actually looking up like it's going to be pretty good. We've got lots of news flows coming in. I think most of them have been tailwinds. We've got a lot more in store this week, and we got a nice announcement from the US Treasury today as well. So very, very exciting, guys. I think this week could be quite a nice one. It's August, 18th of August, 17th of August. Very, very exciting indeed. Get in the chat there if you're excited. It does look like particularly buoyant at the moment in the crypto market. We're going to get into the weekly updates for digital asset treasuries. We're going to be looking at Bitmine, Strive on the Bitcoin side of things, and then we're going to look at Strategy and Strive on the Bitcoin side, and then we're going to look at Bitmine on the Ethereum side and have a look at their weekly updates. Are generally pretty positive. So we'll get into that, and then we're going to breakdown the U.S. Treasury update with the Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent, and then get into also 24-hour trading on the stock market. So we're going to cover that too. That's a nice announcement. So like I say, a really nice opening with some news for the week, and we've got more to come on Wednesday and Thursday with the White House and the CFTC as well. So Treasury, CFTC, White House, all on the move. SEC, I'm sure, will come back into play later. It's all heading in the right direction, guys. Looking very cool indeed. We're getting some really nice buying as well in the ETFs as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun too. So very cool stuff happening there for Bitcoin. And we're going to check out, obviously, Ethereum as well. Obviously, we're going to get into Pulsechain. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about Pulsechain, where the charts are at. Of course, we got the Monster Thread edition number 67 out. We're going to have a look at that today as well. It's going to be a big show indeed. Everything on the move. All right, kind of cool. All right, so let's pick it up into gear. Let me just make sure I've got everything in the right space here, and then we're going to get into the markets. We're going to start with the stock market though. Get in the chat, say hello, all that good stuff. Don't forget to subscribe on the way in, and smash the follow as well on X, and repost the show on X. Is the biggest thing you guys can do for not just this channel, but any of your favorite Pulsechain streamers, also, covering Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right, let's get into it. So Wall Street, let's go to it. US stock markets, futures are muted. Well, they are just fractionally down, not really much to talk about. We got the Dow Jones, though, for Monday's results of the opening of the week. What do we have? 7 bullish weeks for the stock market. 7 bullish weeks, I think, for the most part. We got the Dow Jones there down 0.5%, 272 points to 53,459. We can have a look at our mini chart over the last year. Pumped just off the highs there at the moment. Nasdaq at the moment down. S&P 500 down the same amount, 0.5%, 40 points to 7,745. Also just off the highs, and the Nasdaq there down 1/3%, 84 points to 26,644, and just off the high there too from June. So not bad. We're doing pretty well across the board. We got the US dollar down at 99.47, pretty much in the same zone. Not really much change there. The volatility index is up a little bit. So in terms of the risk on, so we're up 6.6%, up at 15. So we're still in the risk on zone, but it is up today. Looking at commodities, we got West Texas at $84.19. So this is really one of the headwinds that we've got still. We really want to get it below $80, and if we get down to maybe $70, then you might get $3 a gallon at the pump in the US. I think it's something like that math. So we're still elevated. We definitely want to get below $80 again, and we've still got a bit of a risk premium. It's maybe 50% as high as what it was at the beginning of the Iranian conflict. We've got so that's 0.5%, 45 cents to $84.19. Brent oil is at $91.25, so even more of a elevated there, up to 20 cents on the old Brent oil. Then we go to gold. Gold at the moment is down $11, 0.25% to 4,462, still holding up, but pretty flat at the moment. And silver just down under 1%, 56 cents to $65.64. So silver obviously having a nice recovery there too. Copper, of course, is the star, and that is the star we're looking at, $6.57, currently down about 4 cents. But we're looking for that, that copper chart's looking very good indeed, and should benefit from everything, as we always say. That's pretty much it right now on the oil there. Obviously, President Trump made a threatened military action against Oman if it interfered with U.S. efforts to reach a deal with Iran. So that was put out, so that created a bit more uncertainty in the oil prices, driving that up a little bit. So it's kind of where we are right now. And also the rise in crude oils also pushed up the 30-year Treasury yields at 5.31%. So that is the highest level in 2 decades, guys. So this is probably one of the only areas of a little bit of concern is around the 30-year, but so far it's holding it in there. And of course, with the US Treasuries, I think it hit 40 trillion in debt. Let's go bring up the US debt. I think I've got that on here. US debt somewhere. US debt. Debt clock. Let's have a look at that quickly. It wasn't planning to, but we're going to do it. It's got a lot of data, so hopefully it doesn't crash the computer. Let's have a look at. So at the moment, it's just slightly under. So 39.9. So it's almost at 40 trillion there. I think some other people's metrics, maybe some other metrics that have it at 40 trillion, but on the debt clock at least just below 40 trillion right now. Look, the bond market seems to be holding up at the moment. We have seen a little bit of crack though. Is that going to be an issue down the line? We shall see. So far, it seems to be adapted to that. So we'll keep a look at that. But look at the interest on debt now is $1.1 trillion, guys. And the Defense Department budget is spending is $946 trillion. And we know Trump is heading, I think, trying to get through to $1.5 trillion to build up stockpiles of low-cost new technology like various drones, missiles, and also more advanced weapons as well against supersonics and a lot of things. They're doing a lot of stuff in that front. So 946. So we're going to expect a big blowout there. And we've got a little bit of dilemma. Obviously, we've got the Iranian conflict. They're sending, I think, the Pacific another aircraft carrier to replace. I can't remember which ones they are, Lincoln or something, or replace the aircraft carrier because they've been at sea for like 9 months and in battle a lot of the time too. So they're doing a bit of that, but that leaves China, Taiwan open a little bit more, doesn't it? No doubt they're trying to move other assets and arrangements, but certainly getting those stockpiles ready, because the last thing we need, guys, for our crypto run is China to invade Taiwan, right? So we've had enough of just one getting rid of one conflict's, doing one conflict's enough with the Iranian there, and of course the Ukrainian Russia is pretty much in a quagmire, right? So nothing to see too much there, I think. All right, Crypto Jacks, smash that like and subscribe. Definitely do that. We got the woohoo with the Crypto Jacks, and I'm loving these crypto prices. Pulsechain 369, absolutely, Crypto Jacks. That's the spirit. So yeah, US debt there. What is it per citizen? $116,000 per citizen, or $360,000 per taxpayer. The people actually pay to cover it. So pretty crazy stuff there on the US debt, and yeah, so forth. So that is pretty much where we are. Let's keep a look at that. We're actually going to probably come back and circle back around to the trade deficit, the federal deficit, and the public debt on another show, and we'll try to deep dive into that. Those were definitely areas that Trump was working on. Presumably, he's still working on that in the future, but certainly the Iranian conflict has pulled back a lot of that advancement that they were doing. So Trump administration was the first administration really looking to pull back those numbers, but the Iranian conflict there definitely costing a bit of money, right? But look, I mean, you're talking about getting rid of the penultimate terrorist state with nuclear bombs, and they would have used the nuclear bombs. So it has to be done. I mean, I know it's tough, but it's something that needed to be done, and there's more work to be done to close that down. All right, so that's kind of where we are on that at the moment. Let's go back to the stock market there. That's kind of some of the highlights. Let's move back up to the economic calendar quickly, just to wrap up our economic and stock market coverage. Let's have a look here. So let's go to this week. This week, as you guys know, we are waiting for Thursday, the FOMC meetings, but really the manufacturing data and initial jobless claims are the key numbers here. Rolling on with that manufacturing data, we did see last year's crypto top didn't match the manufacturing, but it's a good chance that it will match this time coming up in our bull market, probably in 2027 there. So the peak of the manufacturing there as well. We should see those align up, I think, this time around. So that's kind of where I think we are at the moment, so we're getting that on Friday, Saturday. So that's all important data, but as that's also overlapping at the same time that we're going to have the White House meeting and the FTC, what was it? Normally I'd say it just rolls off the tongue, but the CFTC, that's it. Thank you very much. All right, so that's kind of where we are right now. And our next meeting at the moment, we've had pretty favorable inflation data as well. And our next meeting for the Fed is coming up in September there, the 16th, 4 weeks and 2 days to go. We got the majority of the market expecting a no change in interest rates at 3.75% on the federal funds rate, and also the majority still holding just 51%, no change in October. The only one rate rise expected so far at the moment, and that's 45% majority in December. But we've still got 1/3 of the market expecting no change. We've still got August data to go before the September meeting, so we've still got we've still got a PCE data this month as well. I think is it next week maybe. Anyway, we've still got a couple of data points to go, CPI again, PPI, etc., and that's going to flow into the decision. But at the moment, I think we've moved to neutral to dovish, if you ask me, and that's kind of my position I've had anyway. We'll keep watching those numbers. All right, so that's the economic news. Let's jump into crypto. Crypto having a good day indeed, guys. And like I say, we're getting quite a bit of positive news, and we're going to talk about that now. So 2.286 trillion, up 2.6%. And I always like to remind everybody that this is still super cheap, guys. If we're going to, in this bull cycle, do a 10x or so, that's a 20 trillion, 2/3 of gold maybe. That's a nice run ahead, guys, a nice run ahead over the next year or two. So very, very exciting. Let's get into the crypto Bitcoin. We're at $64,100, so nice, up 2.3%, and we've gone positive for the week as well, 0.7%. Ethereum at just below $1,900 here on average. I'm going to actually refresh this just to make sure I've got the latest and greatest. Yeah, $1,900. It's just down on the current hour, so it's just tapered off a little bit there. But up 1.8% on the 24-hour, up 2% for the week for Ethereum. BNB up 0.4%, $603 at number 3, at 1% for the week. And number 6 is XRP, down up 0.9% to today, but still down 0.8% on the week, sitting at 99.6 cents. And probably the one that was hit this is what I'm arguing anyway, that it was hit probably hardest by the Clarity Act, because it's, Ripple does banking, and essentially that's probably the key there. Solana at the moment is at number 7, up 1.9%, 0.1% for the week, $75.58. Tron at the moment, number 8, is flat, up 0.1%, 33 cents. And then we've got Hyperliquid there, number 10, let's say, is sitting up 4.2%, 8.3% for the week. So a nice little rebound for Hyperliquid, maybe just the first move, $59.14. And then we've got Doge there at 7 cents, up 1%, 0.9% for the week. So those are the kind of your top 10. Top 5 in the top 100, we've got Hash back up. Good to see. 30.8%. Venus token up 12%. Morpho up 8%. Matic or Pole now 7.5%, and then Zcash up 6.2%. So Zcash there on the rebound. We saw Raoul Paul pick up more Zcash, wasn't it? His favorite chain is Suchain, but he's picked up a lot of Zcash. 7 days. Let's look at the top 5 in the 7 days. We've got Bitway still there, 69. It powered all the way in the last week up past into the top 100. Now sitting at number 69. It's a bit of a Bitcoin play. Up 82% for the week, is down 10% overnight, but 82% for the week. Hash up 43% this week. What a powerful move back up. And then EtherFi, they're up 28%. The ETH play also came into the top 100. Chainlink, of course, the big data chain, cross chain, up 14% there, and all institutions are getting into it. Could be a big re-rate for Chainlink. Keep a look out for that. We are expecting it to be one of the major winners moving forward. And then Venus, when I say we, I mean me, and there's other people out there, right? Other people do. Venus there at number 5, up 11% there, so not bad. And we've got 7 coins in the top 100, over 10%. So those are the big movers. Top 1,000 gainers, we've got GoPus Security, Star Power, and Tutorial back in there as well, all up 40, 50% each. And then trending overall, Tom Lee's favorite meme coin, Pudgy Penguins, Venus token, and the Black Bull are back in there as well, up 24%. So those are the overviews there on CoinGecko based on their index. All right, let's jump in and zoom into Bitcoin a bit closer. This is the weekly chart here. We are sitting just below the 200 weekly average. This is very key. Everyone's looking at this. We've got to hold that 62,200, in my opinion. Otherwise, we are threatened with going down for that fourth wave. Still a lot of people calling for the fourth wave, still the October bottom, and of course using all the the bull bear cycles to determine that into October, and so that's still the kingpin there with a few variations, on other months. But certainly that is anytime we've been below 200, it's been a very good time of buying. Now just remember this chart with Bitmine. Because they will be looking to pick up more Bitcoin at this rate and buy more stretch as opposed to buying MSTR shares back when we're in the zone right below the 200 weekly in particular. So obviously more value there to be done. So yeah, 64,132 right now on the Coinbase price. And so we've got the 200 week moving averages, as I say, at 64,217. So not bad there. And we've got the 50 weekly moving average at 81,500. So let's just zoom. We're going to zoom in actually a little bit closer. Let's go to the daily. Daily at the moment on the 50, we've got 63,745. We're below that at the moment. So it's got a little, we just pumped above that, I should say, overnight. And so that was a really nice green pump there. So we avoided the 62,200, which we don't really want to go down to. And we've got the key marks, right? The key marks on here. We want to get over 67,000, particularly 67,500. Then we want to get over this line, which is the 200 daily moving average, 69,000. And of course, break 70. So for me, 67,500 and 70K, two key milestones here to get over. Very important there. And we've also got potentiality for a golden cross coming up eventually. It looks like it might very well time with October by the time we get there. But we've got this going up, assuming we don't have that fourth wave down. Then this is a bullish sign, right? A bullish sign. So it's a bit of a race, the bulls versus the bears, as always. So that is the BTC. But let's look at the hourly, because I just want to look at that little pump that we had. Look at that, not bad. We're all the way down here at 62,600, and it was a nice little move higher here. And we had some good news overnight. We had the DAT updates and the Treasury, and yeah, up 3% there at the top, $1,953. Pretty good move in Bitcoin. And there we go, up $1,500 at the moment, to just under 2.5% right now. So let's see if this continue. The hourly there, of course, we've got a little positive cross there, bullish cross. Let's actually quickly look at the 4 hour too, the traders range. That's down there. So yeah, it's been a bit of a bearish cross there, but certainly bullish to the upside now. So let's see if it can continue on. Now, obviously, feeding some of that is the good news there around the ETFs. So let's look at the ETFs. So for Monday, the 17th, we had 2,180 Bitcoin was the net buying there. Very, very cool. That was from our FBTC and ARKB. They were the key buyers there, and a bit of MSBT as well. So the ETFs there, net buyers 2,000, not bad. We'll take that. 2,200 actually. We'll take that as well, especially after last week's kind of selling week. Before that, we had a positive buying week. Remember, with the Bitcoin ETFs. So a nice little buying coming in there, and that's just a bit of a prelude there into the DAT. So now we're moving from the ETFs to the DAT. So ETFs are positive. Let's look at the DATs and MicroStrategy strategy. Big announcements overnight, and we had strategy added $150 million to its reserve. So still continuing to the reserve there. I was thinking they might get to 3 years, so we'll see where they stop there. It's onwards, upwards from this. So strategy added 150 million to its USD reserve and repurchased 132 million of Stretch. So Stretch is the product that it offers to the debt market, raises capital there, and buys Bitcoin. It is their preferreds, and it's below par, as you guys know. We're trying to get back to $100, or they are at least. We're extending USD duration to 2.8 years now, and you guys know I talked about this some time ago, about 3 years. And this looks like where they're heading to, right? Now, some could argue 4 years because of the cycle, but I don't think you need it that long. As long as you're 75% of this 4 year cycle, that's probably the play there. You probably will need to adjust it as Bitcoin moves up in price relative to Bitcoin becoming more scarce as we move forward in the next few years. But yeah, up 41 days coverage there for that coverage. So pretty cool. This is their priority in the short term, getting Stretch back into the $100 range. They won't want it to be over $100 too much. They want to obviously raise raise debt there. Well, let's issue more preferred to raise more debt cash or from the debt markets there. Got to be very careful how I word that. And tighten stretch BTC credit to 114 basis points on the BTC credit. As of the 16th of August, they still hold 840,000 Bitcoin, which is the same as last time. And they're sitting on $4.8 billion of US reserve cash at the moment. So Stretch still trying to push that back to $100 there. All right, so that is from him. They also had the quarterly update as well on a show. I think, I'm not sure if we've got that on here. Let me have a look. It's not showing up here and here, but they did do their quarterly show on, I think it was that Natalie lady. I just forgot the name. So that's kind of what we're looking forward to at the moment. So, I still continuing their strategy. I think this is good for the short term. Now, long term, remember back to the Bitcoin chart, they'll be probably wanting to, push that stretch back to $100, raise more capital that way. That's good for the long term, right? So they're kind of fixing up the short term capital management, the digital capital for the long term play. So, MSTR kind of suffers a little bit there. The MNAV is still positive, right? So it's still at 1.06 or something like that. So, it's still getting battered a little bit on the MNAV and the shareholder, arguable dilution. But I think short-term pain for long-term gain, and I think it's playing out okay so far. We'll check that out in a minute on the old treasury sites, which I haven't brought up, unfortunately, but we'll get there. All right, so that is Michael Saylor. And now Matt Cole from Strive. There's the number 7 biggest digital treasury. They acquired another 79 Bitcoin. They're also trying to get their SATA product back to $100 as well. They're very close. We'll see that in a minute. So 79 Bitcoin for 5 million at the price of 63,231 per Bitcoin. So they're slowly climbing. They're now at 20,246 Bitcoin. And remember, these guys are professional sort of money bond market managers. So they're coming in with that expertise, and probably Michael say they're borrowing a little bit of that juice. that juice. All right, so kind of cool stuff there from Strive, and we're expecting many more of the digital asset treasuries to do really well. So let's bring those on. Actually, let's see if I've got them here. U.S. Treasuries, Bitcoin Treasury companies. Yeah, let's have a quick look. And we're going to bring that in before we move on to some other bullish stuff. Let's see. All right, so let's scroll down here at the moment. So this is we've got the conference on. We've got the total rankings here. Strategy at 840,000 Bitcoin. Strive down at number 7 at 20,246. So those are the two we discovered. We're expecting lots of activities from a lot of these moving forward as well. 21 Capital, Meta Planet. Amara's been the only kind of negative one in the story there, but I think they may have stopped now selling Bitcoin. We'll see. And then Bitcoin's down treasury should move forward at some stage, and then bullish and as well. So we're expecting a lot of activities here. We already had a lot of activities from the smaller ones like Gemini Space, Capital B, Bitcoin, BitGo Holdings here, H100 last week, Orange J BTC last week as well, buying Bitcoin. So we've still got quite a lot of activity happening across the board, and this will all be positive for the future, particularly in the next few months. So we'll keep a lookout for that too. But let's go to the digital asset treasury from the two kind of most active ones so far this year, and let's have a look at the play there. So Stretch still at $94.47. Got to get to $100. How did it do last night? Let's have a look on Monday. Let's see where that is landing. Yeah, so went down towards the end of the day. Peaked out at the beginning at $95.11. So still work to do despite strategies buying a lot of Stretch. They've still got work to do there. And but look, maybe it's going to happen in August. Maybe we'll get to $100 in August. Can quickly change there. So that's their focus. But if you look at Strive, their SATA preferred stock is at $99.34. So yeah, they're very close to it. They're trying to get there. They're only 67 cents below 100. You can see that chart. Their chart's quite different, but they opened up at $99.63. So only 37 cents below $100. So they're getting there, and they closed. They went down during the trading at regular hours, but they closed up at $99.53, but had a close finally of $99.33 there. So yeah, they're battling almost there. On the old treasuries there. So the common stock for Strive is Assist, ASST. That's probably is doing pretty well. Certainly recovery there. All right, so that is kind of the DATs. So generally, I think good news coming out of those, and of course, preferred still trying to fight back to the $100 there. Not there yet. Will it do it before the end of August? I'm feeling pretty good about that. I think they're doing all the right moves, even with the a little bit of dilution of a strategy. I think that will all turn around pretty quick once they get back and being able to issue more stretch to the debt market. So we're watching that, and there'll be another big tailwind for Bitcoin. All right, let's jump into some other positive news outside the Bitcoin DATs there. For crypto generally, we're going to get into Ethereum in a minute. But that is Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent came out with a nice surprise here. This is a little bit late in my view, but it's still come out. POTUS in Congress delivered the Genius Act last year, and remember 18 Democrats supported that, established a landmark framework and clear rules of the road for payment stablecoins. The Treasury is moving quickly to implement that framework. They were supposed to do it in July, remember? That was kind of July. They've kind of missed that a little bit by a couple of weeks. Treasury is moving quickly to implement that framework. US Treasury welcomes input from stakeholders as we work to provide the regulatory certainty businesses need to innovate and grow in America, cement the role of the US dollar as the world's reserve currency, and keep America the crypto capital of the world. So it's all self-reinforcing for the US dollar, let alone the the economy of crypto. So yeah, it's very positive. This is a little, maybe 2 weeks late, but still getting in there. And you can see the US Department of Treasury there. Treasury seeks public comment on Genius Act proposal rulemaking. So we're here, guys. This is a very important piece. And we might be around about $300 billion in stablecoins, but Secretary Scott Bessent talking about $3 trillion or so by 2030. And this is the key legislation. Obviously, it has to be fully enacted by January next year, 27, which is we're getting very close to that, running very close. So kind of cool. So I'm not going to go through all this link here to the Treasury, but you can go check it out yourself. But this is on the move. So basically, they've pushed out for public comment on terminologies and things like that. So very cool. Beginning on January the 18th, 2027, the expected effective date of the Genius Act, a person generally may not issue a payment stablecoin in the United States unless the person has obtained an appropriate federal or state license. So it's game on, right? Game on there. Beginning on July the 18th, 2028, the Act further provides the digital asset service provider generally may not offer or sell any payment stablecoins to persons in the United States unless the payment stablecoin issued as by a licensed issuer. So obviously the regulations coming into place for the stablecoin there. But that is bullish. That is bullish. So some good stuff there this week, and that was a nice surprise to open up the week with. So it was extra goodness there. All right. Now, also another big thing we've seen generally in crypto is, and particularly the NASDAQ there. NASDAQ takes on crypto's 24/7 markets. Very cool. With overnight stock trading from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. Eastern. So stock markets moving towards our 24-hour kind of approach. I think it's technically the new session starts on December the 6th, so still a few months to go, and stretches the exchange to nearly 23 hours. So that's NASDAQ, guys. 23 hours a day with US stocks trading on a Sunday night for the first time. NASDAQ's own SEC filing said investors are increasingly using crypto and tokenized asset platforms that trade around the clock. So another win there. So all these tailwinds, guys, leading in the beginning of this week, even better than we expected. We expected the second half of the week to be good, maybe the DATs to be good, but we got this extra news around the Genius Act and NASDAQ trading, which I think is great. So I think that's all pretty positive stuff moving forward there. All right, so that is our Bitcoin. We're going to get into Ethereum though. So just let me bring that up for a minute, and we're going to talk about Ethereum because Ethereum is obviously looking really good. Let's bring up the charts here. We've had a nice uptrend in the charts over the last month or something, and also moving up against Bitcoin. So you've got the old value train, right? So we got let's take it from Pulsechain back to Ethereum, back to Bitcoin. So this is kind of where we're looking at. Fundamentals for Bitcoin is these digital credit products pumping money from the debt markets into Bitcoin. That's flushing cash in. And then, of course, with Ethereum, we've got the key catalyst there being stablecoins we discovered. That's on the move this week. And then, of course, with the rulemaking. And then we've got tokenization takeoff and agentic AI takeoff. And overlapping all that is DeFi, TradeFi, finance all coming over, all those applications. And then, of course, boom time. And then, of course, we've also got institutional and mass adoption going to be playing out in the future, but institutional adoption already happening, mass adoption coming with a lot of different routes like Mr. Beast, etc., expected to happen in that play. So that's the news in the future we're looking forward to. That's kind of the zone there. And then we come to Pulsechain. Pulsechain, of course, we've got a bit of a developer boom on right now. If you've not noticed, it's been pretty cool. If you check out the monster thread, we're getting lots more entrepreneurial activities on Pulsechain. Really nice to see that. And we're coming off a low base after 3 years of downtrend, and we're really starting to have a nice little rally, maybe on our first wave, heading for glory in the future. So it's looking kind of cool downstream. And all that cash that comes in from equity and debt markets from Bitcoin, Ethereum, can flush in and come over the bridge into Pulsechain. And of course, the Magic Carpet Ride formula for the sacrifices, if you believe in that position, is also going to get re-rated right downstream. So very cool. And Pulsechain could benefit magnificently from that. So that's kind of the value chain there. Let's get into the Ethereum price. I might go to start off with the hourly as well, just because it's fun to see that little bump, even if we're retracing the last 3 hours. Let's have a look at where Ethereum is, and then the number one digital asset treasury, Bitmine, before we get into our Pulsechain coverage. So here we are on the hourly. We had a nice re-rate here. Let's have a look at it. We were down at $1,867. We rallied all the way up to up almost $50, 2.7%. We're down in the last 3 hours as we're talking at moments. So we're down from that top, down about what's it, $19 at the moment. So we're at $1,897, still struggling to get well over that $1,900. Now let's look further afield. We have got a bullish cross there on the hourly, but let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hour there just dipped below, a little bit of a negative cross there, but this should all turn back up if we hold the prices up here. And we're still in this kind of channel where you can kind of see we're in that channel there on the 4 hour. Let's go to the daily chart. Daily, we've got potentially a golden cross coming up here, even better looking than arguably than the Bitcoin one, and because we've got this nice upswing here. So are we getting to load up? We've seen a lot of whales coming in to buy, a lot of the ETFs coming in to buy, right? So that's been pretty cool. Let's have a look at the ETF value actually. We've got the ETF flow. Let's have a quick look at that for Ethereum. And let's go and see what that we know. Bitcoin was positive 2,200 Bitcoin. What was Ethereum? So Ethereum was 2,670 Ethereum. So not ginormous numbers, not like 10, 20, 30,000 like we've seen, a week or so ago. But certainly we're positive there, 2,670. And that may very well just be the opening pickup for this week, given, all the bullish news we've so far had, I think. So we're in a decision here coming up. We've got the golden cross coming up as well. We're 1848 on the 50 daily moving average. The 200 moving average is at $2,004. We're currently at 1897, and I think we're getting a lot of positivity there with the new whales coming in as well. It's looking kind of good. And here now we are. Come back to the Bitcoin chart. We are in that sort of 3 to 4 week window where we're going to have a decision. We're seeing the previous waterfalls. Wave 1, 2, and 3 down. We're like 8 to 12 weeks. So we're certainly in that 8 to 12 week zone right now. So a decision will be made, but the chart's pretty positive with that moving average, and hopefully we can get to a golden cross. The 15th of September, remember, which is about here, is when the Clarity Act comes back into play. I'm not over optimistic about that at this stage, but the market's pricing it down to about 15% chance, because we're getting into the politics land of the midterms in November, right? And there's all these recesses on and everything else. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But the market's already moving, as I say, with all these bullish fundamentals. So who cares, they say? Well, it does matter, but we are still growing regardless of all that. Institutions are already coming in. So it's a big deal there. So that's the daily. Let's go to the weekly on the chart here. And that's kind of what we look like at the moment. So are we going to get something like last year, 133 days, a 3.5x underneath? This time it could be even better, right? And we'll talk about that. This time it could be even better, and I'm expecting it to be better. And I think next time we do rally back up to 5K, which has been a resistance for the last sort of 5 years, last bull market, last year's sort of what I call a mid bull market move, that we could end up busting this 5K and going up to some of the big numbers, 10 to 20K for this next move, right? This next sort of 6 months to 24 months. So that's the Ethereum. Let's get into the key bit. We should look at the ETF. So let's look at Bitmine Immersion, the number one digital asset treasury. results for this week. And we can see that Bitmine provided its latest holdings update for August the 17th, 11.4 billion in total crypto. Moonshots are these kind of Mr. Beast and things like that. 5.8 million ETH now, so 5,815,000. They're heading towards that 6 million mark. I've seen slightly variations of it, 6,030,000, that sort of thing, but they're definitely getting there, not far away. Let's say around 200K, let's say, ETH to go. They also have 209 Bitcoin because it used to be a Bitcoin miner. 818 million stake in Mr. Beast. This is the route that I think is going to go to mass adoption. I think we've got a couple of routes out there in the world that are going to get us to mass adoption. And of course, Mr. Beast is going to be one of those from the looks of it. That's what I think is a great move. 1 in 3 people in the world on the internet watch a Mr. Beast video apparently every month. So, it's definitely one of those places. And of course, particularly targets Generation Z and Alpha and a bit of millennials in there too. Very, very exciting for that. Now, another route would be, say, X Money from Elon Musk on the X platform when they enable crypto on there, right? So that could be very bullish. And of course, Dogecoin there may do very well off the back of that. So these are coming, guys. Mass adoption is coming. We've got an institutional wave, and those waves will continue because they're already front running all of this move. You remember, they get on the phone, they have chats, and talk about all these things, and then they sort of cross the line. But institutions already, many of them are already getting it, right? Already getting it. They want the value chain too, right? So they want to win the value chain and dominate. 73 million stake in 8Co holdings. That's Sam Altman, AI, and Digital ID, all that sort of stuff coming in there, and of course total cash. So they've gone down from about 104 million to 78 million. So it's certainly getting down there. But look, I think the MNAV today closed at 0.99. So they're almost back at 1. So we talked about that with the Bitcoin. Well, these guys are almost back at 1, 0.99. This has been a fight back as well for Bitmine, just like the Bitcoin DATs. The ETH DATs striving there as well, but they're almost there, 0.99. They might hit it tomorrow. Let's see. It's going pretty good. They've been doing a number of things, so let's check out what they've been doing. Number 2, this Tom Lee says, we're encouraged to see ETH BTC ratio at 0.02994. Now, I've been covering this last couple of days in particular. We're basically at 3%. So it's at 3% of Bitcoin. So you talked about that value chain, Pulsechain to ETH to Bitcoin. Well, the ETH to Bitcoin is looking very good because ETH is moving up against Bitcoin. And of course, we've seen Pulsechain over the last sort of 6-7 weeks move up against ETH ratio as well. So it's the value chain's playing out, guys. Very nice. It's always good to get the bottom in, and it does look very likely that we've got the bottom in at 5,400, assuming Bitcoin doesn't do that fourth wave collapse. And this time is ticking for that, right? Time is ticking, and we're certainly seeing, the market's holding up against negative news. So maybe the bottom's already been in at the end of June, and we're rounding up to the upside. So let's see what happens. This ratio has moved above the long-term downtrend in place over the last few years, and as a sign, so we're all looking for all these signs. It's definitely a sign in our view that markets are beginning to see materialization of tokenization and agentic AI. So 2 of the 3 big themes that we've been seeing for Ethereum and top chains as well, which should benefit Ethereum indeed. Remember, Ethereum is dominating the stablecoins and the tokenization, over 50%. So it's no problems there. Tom Lee said. So we expect easing financial conditions to be a tailwind for crypto as well. All right, so let's scroll back down here. What else we got? This is a little chart of the ETH BTC ratio. And as I pointed out the other day, we've got a breakout now on the rate, right? So we're down at 2.3%. Now we're up at 2.9, or basically 3%, 3% of the Bitcoin price. Remember, the 2021 high was just below 9%, 8.9%. And I think the average is running about 5.3% over the last sort of 5 years or so. So we're expecting this to run up, ETH run up against Bitcoin, and that would help with the argument of flippening as well. But I think it's going to be very explosive this time, guys. I think it's going to be very, very cool to see. All right, so let's jump into number 3. This ETH BTC ratio has moved up during the crypto bull cycles, driven by increasing use of Ethereum relative to Bitcoin. And of course, particularly around scaling, not so much about ETH burning ETH fees and things, but certainly scaling, and that's very important. That's kind of a pre-stage, perhaps, before the ETH burn. We're obviously Robinhood and things like that have done very well, and so we'll just keep watching that. But certainly a lot of things happening on the old ETH chain there. These price cycles were fueled by ICOs in 2018. You guys remember that period, been around that long. And then NFTs, of course, 2020, 2021. And remember, some people were paying like $3,000, $5,000 on ETH gas just to get the NFT issuance. It was madness, man, madness. And of course, causing all sorts of havoc for everybody else using the chain, right? And then, of course, that also helped spur on, the idea of moving X and forking Ethereum and having its own chain, and with the S-load function and all those other things that wrapped into all those moves there. Stablecoins 2025, of course, as well. And of course, we saw the DATs come in last year. One of the key catalysts for that 133% move, 133-day move of 3.5x for Ethereum, with the DATs coming in on the back of Genius Act and stablecoins. And of course, we see that just today coming out with the rulemaking and public comments. So things are on the move, guys. It's just just be patient. It's all happening. We see the ETH BTC ratio rising, driven by Wall Street tokenization on the blockchain and by agentic AI blockchains. And of course, this is ramping up. And I told you it's going to be game over by October. The rollout after that's going to be huge, with a huge backlog of clients from traditional markets wanting to get their products in the blockchain and crypto, particularly Ethereum. And that is going to be DTCC, the settlement layer. The Waterworks company for TradeFi is coming to take over the chain. They're already here, and they're going to be going full mode in October. And so they did their trials in July. They had excellent results there, and they had inundated clients wanting to get their products on. It's going to be game on there, guys. So October is going to be very cool, and then you expect that to ramp up every single month as more and more products and more tokenization value comes over. Remember, DTCC has 114 trillion under management based on last year's data, and a whopping and a ginormous $4.6 quadrillion of settlements last year. And just getting a fraction of it over on crypto, massive, right? So you guys know where this is heading, guys. Fantastic. So good stuff happening there. All right, so you can kind of see this cool chart with all this labeled out there. The ICO boom, 2017 and 18. The NFT boom there, 21. The stablecoin boom, 25. And where are we going now? Big arrow here. Big arrow here from Tom Lee. Doesn't know where it ends, though. But tokenization, agentic AI there, spurring this on in terms of the ratio of Ethereum to Bitcoin. So get excited. I think this is all pretty on the mark there. All right. So Tom Lee's price predictions may not be completely accurate, although I think his pricing for next year is fairly realistic at 250K, because we've got the power law sitting at 230 by June next year. So I think that's kind of fair. And we've got what's sitting at about 200K for the end of this year. And I am expecting a bit of a run up at some stage this year. So keep a lookout for that. Number 4, we continue to view Bitmine's common shares as undervalued, and company repurchased. Now, saw actually, was it, what do they call themselves? Anyway, we'll move on from that. I don't want to digress too much, especially when I've forgotten the name. But we continue to view Bitmine's common shares as undervalued, and the company repurchased 1.7 million shares. So far, I think up to the last 4 weeks, they purchased 19 million shares. So this must put them pretty close to 21 million, which it does at 20.8 million over the last 5 weeks. And they've been starting to buy back their shares because that's the best position they can do, especially with the MNAV below 1. They can't go to the market, issue more common stock, and raise money from the equity markets. So because otherwise they're diluting their holders, and they said they wouldn't do that. And so they've been buying back shares, which is the best decision to do. But they've been doing that. They've been bringing their cash down, and now they're down all the way down to 75 million or whatever it was, somewhere in that zone. And this buyback remains the largest ever executed by any Ethereum DAT, of course. And they are the big boy in the room, so to speak. Since July the 1st, 2026, Bitmine has purchased 21 million shares under the previous authorized 4 billion share repurchase program. And of course, what's that done is lifted the ETH per share as well, right? Quite dramatically. So that's been pretty good. Over the past week, we acquired 10,000 ETH as well. So, buying back more shares, increasing the ETH. Kind of cool. Bitmine has bought ETH every week since the inception of the ETH treasury strategy. So that cash now is dynamically priced as ETH. As ETH goes up, that's going to become even more accretive to the shareholders. So that's kind of cool. All right, so very cool stuff there, and they're over 5.8 million in ETH at the moment, and they got 5 million of it staked. 16th of August, Bitmine's total staked ETH stands at 5,067,000, and I think that's around about 87%. I think somewhere in that ballpark. $9.6 billion at $1,900. Bitmine has staked more ETH than any other entities in the world. Well, they are the biggest holder there. at scale with when Bitmine ETH is fully staked by Maven. Maven is their own staking product, and its staking partners. Remember, this is the key value add in their DAT layer, as I call it, the foundation, because they're getting all this extra revenue too by doing that. They clip the ticket on that, and they're offering it to all these institutional partners, etc., like that. And that's just going to scale up, guys. It's going to just continue to scale. The projected ETH staking reward is 287 million just for their own ETH, 2.61%, 7-day BMNR yield. Annualized staking revenues are now projected at 250 million. Now, they do have a very high cost basis with ETH towers and their operating costs. But as this scales, that should become less and less of an issue. And of course, if they succeed doing what we think they're going to be doing, which is not only having the digital asset foundation layer, but the superstructure above it in terms of finance and mass adoption, then who bloody cares? Is that what we say? I don't know. So it's a family channel, but get the idea. It's going to be potentially, if they are creating a juggernaut of a corporation, then who cares at the end of the day? I still think it's expensively set up, but if it does deliver, then I guess we won't care too much, right? Annualized staking revenue are now projected at 250 million, and this 5.1 million ETH is 87% of the 5.8 million ETH held by Bitmine. Bitmine's own staking operations generated a yield of 2.61%. So nice stuff there. No change, by the way, over the last week in the ETH ramp up staking. And of course, that is the predicted staking there. Now, if I recall, ETH staking at the moment is sitting around 34%, somewhere like that. I don't think there's anyone exiting the staking queue, so everyone wants to get in, and they're it's continuing to stake higher and higher. We saw SharpLink, which is SBET, CEO there, Joseph Chalom. He is also obviously working with Tom Lee from Bitmine to be on the offensive, as they say, to take Ethereum to the institutions and mass adoption. These guys got a big gameplay happening. So imagine a nice baseball game or football game or something. These guys are playing a big game. That superstructure on top is potentially going to be massive, and we're excited about that moving forward. Maven going to be a key aspect of that. But we could see some apps coming through, like Mr. Beast through his Leap Finance app. We could see that offering Ethereum into there, and that would be mass adoption, potentially tens and hundreds of millions of people in the generation Alpha and Z and things like that. So definitely looks like that's the logical route there for mass adoption. That's why there's $200 million investment in Mr. Beast. Some people thought it was crazy, but actually mass adoption is not crazy, right? That's genius if you can play it out. And of course, crypto people have been saying we need to get mass adoption for years. Remember, mass adoption, and all they got was all the geeks and nerds and a few through random lucky people that got on. All right, that's kind of a play there. All right, so that's kind of where we are on the DAT there. So looking really good. We've got the ETH rising up against the BTC. We've got the MNAV at 0.99. Bitmine are leading the way there, and of course, this is arguably permanent capital. So these top two DATs on Ethereum, Bitmine and SharpLink, are basically permanent capital. And so they're taking a lot of their funds that they're earning and funding back into these ETH nodes, ETH labs, ETH institutional, and of course the Ethereum Foundation. And it's going to be fun to see. There's 4 now up and running. And so these guys are investing back in. They're also going to look like they're going to be investing back into financial applications and making money that way. This is part of that superstructure. So it's going to benefit not only Bitmine, but also benefit you guys out there that are holding ETH. And we saw Raoul Paul saying the other day, hey, look, it's asymmetrical trade. All you have to do is buy the ETH and you're sitting there fine. So if you want to get Ether, that's a pretty solid asymmetrical trade based on Raoul Paul. And I agree with him a lot there. But it's going to benefit everyone else as well. So this is the big picture. And these digital asset treasuries, that's why we're following them so closely, because they're bringing in the money from the debt markets, they're bringing in the money from the equity markets, and they're also building out the future of finance on Ethereum, right? So future of digital credit and the debt market products on Bitcoin, the future of finance on Ethereum and application layers. Obviously, it's going to be so big, it's also going to benefit other chains like Solana and others. But of course, Ethereum is the battle-tested one, and it's also dominating the market share. And I don't suspect that that's going to change anytime soon. So that is kind of cool. We've got Amsterdam coming up as well very soon this year. And of course, moving on from there, I think it was the Hecgato is up for debate as well about the next fork after that. So it's game on, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed that overview. It's 50 minutes on the hour. We're going to kick it into Pulsechain now. So we talked about Bitcoin, Ethereum. Ethereum's up against Bitcoin, and now Pulsechain has been up against Ethereum. Let's kick into gear here. Pulsechain has a very bright future indeed. The base case plus the magic couple ride, that's the formula, base plus magic. And of course, it's very exciting to see where that all goes. So let's pick up, we're going to pick up Pulsechain stats as we usually do. I'm going to pull up Pulse coin list as well because I want to cover a few other topics as well as we move forward. And then we're going to get into Deck Screener. We're going to pull up the Pulsechain chart. We'll have another look at Hex as well. We've been following that pretty closely, been publishing those little video clips as well. I think people have been enjoying those. We're going to look at the winners today. Who's on top? Well, it might be a big cat with big teeth that's on top. You guys know what I'm talking about there. It seems to be dominating the last 3 days, at least 4 days maybe. So we'll get to that when it comes up there. Let me know in the chat there if you guys know what I'm talking about with the little tiger teeth. I just said it, tiger. Oh, what a loser. What a loser. I just said it out loud. I couldn't help. I was trying not to say tiger, and then I ended up doing it. Little tiger teeth. Anyway, that's hilarious. All right, we have a bit of fun here on the show. Is that the way we put it? I think so. Anyway, Pulsechain is looking strong, guys, and we're going to get into that. I've been posting out charts there. The probability has still been in our favor to the upside. I'm going to get into all that now. Let's go to the hourly chart because, it's a bit of fun. Get rid of the RSIs, and I think we're almost there. We will look at Hex as well, and that's a bit of fun. All right, so let's see what day we're up to. I'm just cleaning things up here. All right, let me have a bit of a drink. Get into chat there. Say hello, guys. You guys are out there. Don't be shy. Let me know what you guys are looking for. We're obviously looking for more protocol updates. We've got Liberty Swap rolling out a whole ton of protocols, looking for their buy and burn to kick in the gear for 10x. And also we've got VersaVault coming from Triple DAT, and there's many other entrepreneurs on Pulsechain. Really, we're getting a nice little revolution there. And as the price of Pulse goes up, we're going to get dozens of more devs coming on. They're just going to be coming out of the woodwork, building out everything as well. And so we hopefully get the best forks, modified forks, and get a lot of innovative DeFi as well. And so I think we're sort of starting to see that first wave over the last 2-3 months. And the next 2 months certainly looks good with a lot of products coming on. All right, let's get into it. So Pulsechain downstream from Ethereum. Of course, a full system state copy of Ethereum based on the 10th of May 2023. It is launched 3 days later on the 30th of May 2023. And here we are, 1,193 days later. And we've got Pulse up 2.5% today. We've got Hex up 3.55% today. We've got ProveX up 3%, PulseX up 4.2%, and Ink Token up 5%. We're coming off low liquidity, and our volumes have been rising. No whale has seemed to have doused the charts during this rally. So maybe the exhaustion was out there, and they're waiting to see Pulsechain shine. So it does, all things equal, it does look pretty good. Let's go to the gas prices. Have a look at some of the global metrics as we do every day. It is cheap to do business on Pulsechain. As we talked about, the NFT boom in 21. It cost thousands of dollars just to mint some NFTs, and most of those are under the water. Most of those under the water there. We recently seen a top trader, I can't remember his name, but he selling he ran out of money because he was losing on margin trading. He started selling his NFTs at big losses, and then lost all that money too. So I mean, it's tough out there. You got to play the game wise, right? Play the game wise. 375,000 beats at the moment. We're at 56 pulse for a Pulsex swap, 600th of a penny, so super cheap to do business on Pulsechain. Now we do want that to go up as we move forward into the bull market. It will naturally, I guess, with the price of Pulse, but we want more, the chain to become more valuable, right? So not hopefully over too expensive, but more valuable for sure. Let's all look at the validators. Let's get a look at the numbers here. It's 46,903, so we're back over there. We must have added like another 15 to 20 there back overnight. So we're slowly climbing there, and as Pulse goes up, this should go up too, as people want to get that sweet yield, 9% there. But we do see in the monster thread, we see people like David Feder democratizing staking coming up, even though he's been providing all the hardware for a lot of validators. It's certainly things are changing in the market. Let's go to the bridge stats. This is kind of our leading indicator, and we're sitting at 64.6 million. We bottomed out at 47,490,000, I think it was, or 420,000 over the last 30 days. and you can see we've kind of got that uptrend in the chart there, so pretty cool at the moment. So we're still up about 17 million approximately from the bottom, up over 0.6% today. We're down 3.5% over last week, but we're up 32% on the last 30 days. And typically, most of this is going to be that's coming in terms of volume, at least, is going to be actively buying probably Pulsechain stuff, right? So that's been a good sign there. We have got another negative day. So we had a negative day yesterday. I think we had a small negative day the day before that. So we were enjoying very green days in with decent volumes. Last 3 days have been a little bit on the lower side, but certainly not the end of the world. Still up 17 million on the volume. What do we got in there? USDC wrapped ETH coming in, USDC wrapped ETH going out. We did have a lot of USDC yesterday and today go out. 130k USDC today. All right, so that is where the markets are. Let's jump into the Pulse coin list quickly. Let's have a look at the volumes. So based on coin list data, Pulsechain is the only one doing over $1 million at the moment. 24-hour volume up 1.6 million. Hex at the moment doing 438. Wrapped ETH doing 300k. Pulsex doing 170. PDI doing 144. Incentive token doing 109. So based on coin list data, six peers are doing over 100k. So assuming that's all tied in, that may or may not be the case for some of these peers, but certainly that's what it's indicating at the moment. Six peers there over 100k. So that means that Pulsechain is still a small retail chain play, but it's certainly robust, right? It's certainly got a robust chain, but certainly retail. But as prices go up, this will all turn around. We'll start, hopefully get more and more coins in the $1 million range doing volume. We did have that a couple of days back, but hopefully that will be more consistent. More sustained, more consistent is what we're looking for there. All right, we'll come back to this later, but let's have a look at Pulsechain. Pulsechain at the moment is sitting really nice, actually. We're at 401,000. Isn't that awesome? Let's give that a round of applause. I think that's been... Can you hear that? I could hardly hear that. I've got my sound on so low. But anyway, so we're sitting at 401,000. That's fantastic and very cool. So this is the hourly chart on here. And so it makes the candles look pretty good. We had this big rally. That was our recent rally up to 40s at 10.82. And then we've come all the way back down. We lost the zero again down to 50s, 9,600. And now we're back up here at 401,000. Obviously, we've got a few on the hourly charts. We've got lower highs here, but we have got some good movements here. Got a higher low here at the moment, so still looking pretty positive there. Let's go to the trader's view, 4 hours. We're sitting right on the 21 4-hour moving average right now, above the 50, above the 200. So we're still looking pretty good here. Let's get the RSI. Plenty of room to move, guys, for a move up. The stochastic also very encouraging there. So look, Pulsechain looking really good. We've got all these positive news coming out this week so far. I don't see it's going to be very hard to see any negative news. So we had got good DAT news, good treasury news, stablecoin news, 24-hour trading news, NASDAQ coming for December. And then this week we've got the White House and the CFTC news, and then the manufacturing. It's all looking pretty positive, really, isn't it? It's going to be really hard. What would collapse this narrative? It's going to be very hard to see that. It looks all tailwind so far for this week at least. So that's kind of the play right now. 401,000. I guess we've got a little bit of shake-up geopolitics with the still going on and the oil prices. That's kind of the headwind, I would say, at the moment. All right, so let's hope it turns. Let's hope it turns as well. That'd be a tailwind. That'd be nice. Get below under $80 again. So that is the mark there. So we're still looking very good on the 4-hour. Room to move to the upside is looking real good. Let's go to the daily. Daily at the moment, we're above the 21 daily moving average at 50s, 9,200. The 50 there at 50s, 8,200. We're elevated at 65, but we've got room to move over 70 to overbought. And the stochastic there just playing out on a bit of a dip, but as you saw in the 4-hour, still looking very good there. So might just chill around here a little bit. I'm expecting it to slightly creep, but might just chill there. Let's go to the weekly. The weekly move here. Heaps of room on the weekly. Obviously, we had 11 down months, for goodness sake. So not surprising there. 51 at the moment on the RSI. Stochastic is overbought there, but still, I think with the short time frames, we are looking still pretty good here. A little consolidation and maybe a slight drift to the upside. We're very cool. And of course, we're in the weekdays now, so we expect better volume there. Our target on the weekly is 1,500. So 40 is 1,500. My target for the first wave is 1,200 at the top of the move, and that is the beginning of the second thing. So if we've got assuming Bitcoin doesn't do the fourth wave crash and holds up, then we've double tapped 5,400. That's the bottom. So presumably we've locked that in under those assumptions, and the end of the first wave for me is 1,200. And so that's kind of cool. And what we want to do is the second thing is to break this mega downtrend, this big yellow line that we've had for over 3 years. And if we can target 1,200, go to 1,700, and then come back, test over the 1,000 or 1,200, presumably 1,200, then we can do this blue line and get out. So this line here, that's 6K velocity, and that would be crushing for me once and more, crushing the downtrend there, and get up to the mega uptrend. And let's see where that takes us in the future. That is the thesis, guys, and so far it's been playing out, right? So far it's been playing out there. We got Brendan in the house there. Love your work, suit man. If anyone is here now, we're gonna be more than fine once things turn. Absolutely, Brendan. Well said. All right, so that is the narrative there, and we're still looking good to the upside. That's basically it. The daily there, and that's kind of where we want to target at 1,200 there, and let's see if we can slowly creep up into that. Maybe get a big, nice green candle at some stage. Certainly looking good here so far on the charts. Not bad at all. All right, I won't go through all the Fibonacci and stuff like that today, but that's where we are. That's where we are right now. Cool. How are we doing for time, actually? An hour and 1. Let's do Fibonacci's. What the heck? Let's do Fibonacci. Fibonacci. All right, so Fibonacci. We're going to take it from the previous high there, come back down to around 54. And so, yeah, we've still got, around 1,400 here for 4 zeros. 1,400, pretty cool. Get to 17 is pretty nice. I think that's definitely doable. But 1,200 is looking good there. So that's kind of where I think we're potentially head. Let's see how we go. But 1,400 is certainly looking good. We've got room to move on the time frame. So let's see where we go from here. That is a Pulsechain looking good. 40 is 1,000. Can't be crying about that. And getting that 1,200, that could be exciting. Could get us moving, have a hyper pump there, and then a retrace, right? Because I think it could be fairly aggressive, let's say. All right, so top 24-hour volume. Okay, so that's the good news, the Pulsechain chart. Bad news, low volume, which is not necessarily bad, but certainly low volume there. Lower fees for the DEXs and DEX aggregators, LP providers. We're at $2.5 million, so back at the bottom of our bear market range, 2.5 to 3.5 mil. We're at 197,000 transactions right now. Let's see where all that volume is. So Pulsex, our V2 DEX, is currently got 1.9 million, so the bulk of it. The top pairs are pretty much Richard Hart Cause, P Tiger, Liquid Loans in the mix there as well. And so those are the kind of top pairs there. 90mm, our V3 DEX is currently got 300K. Most of the volume there in the Richard Cause and Liquid Loans. SwitchX V4 it is mostly in USDC and wrapped ETH with the Richard Cause and a bit of Switch. Liberty Swap, our V3 again, another V3 is mostly wrapped ETH, a Peacock, and I guess the Richard Cause and a bit of PDI and wrapped Bitcoin. And then Uniswap, of course, still doing not too bad, 38K. Actually, what was Liberty Swap? Liberty Swap was 77, so it's dropped a lot, right? It's dropped a lot there with the OG WebShift printer there. Uniswap, let's look at that. It's most of the volume there is sitting in Hex and ALGO. And yep, most of the volume Hex and ALGO. Finvestor, our new DEX V3, most of the volume there is in Peacock Ninjas. And then finally, we'll give it a nod to 9-inch, 12K still there. And of course, you guys know SolidX driving there. All right, so that's pretty much it on the volumes. And we're doing 2.5, which is not a great day. We've been enjoying such great days of 6 million, 8 million, 12 million over the last weeks. And let's see if this is just a blip in the radar and things accelerate into the week ahead. Looking at the top coins, well, P Tiger keeps on moving up to 23, 24%. No wonder everyone wants to interview Tiger Crypto God. It's on their way up there. And let's have a look at the charts. Let's have a look at the charts there. And we see this volume just started to come in from the 30th, just kicked into gear. And it went down quite low, but managed to pick up. And it's getting the FOMO. The Tiger's Crypto God's influence is that big? But it's certainly on the up here. Let's take it from the a couple of days before the volume kicked in on the 26th from the bottom there, and we can see that in 23 days it's up 1,444%. So a 15.5x basically in 23 days. So anyone after 10x's on Pulsechain? Well, P Tiger was one of them. Pretty good. Can't argue there. Now, obviously, there's supply. They're holding a lot of the supply probably. Tiger, Kipler, God, and others take note of that. But certainly, the chart speaks for itself. Pretty crazy from this time. The ratio's up 1,000%, so 10x on the ratio, gone from 47 pulse per Tiger to 518. So if you wanted to pump your bags 10x of your pulse, this would have been a good way of doing it. Liquidity on the main pair, 89k, 3.3 million market cap at the moment. So that is that's been the kingpin for several days in a row now. At the top, Payment, one of the PDI projects, up and down it goes, but it's up 20% today at number 3. Let's have a quick look at that. Just a couple of days rising up here, but did have that big sell-off, remember? That's on the daily. Let's go to the weekly here. That's the weekly chart. So I had 5 negative weeks in a row, positive week this week. So it seems to be bouncing off 3.1 cents, just at 3.9 cents right now. That is Payment. 9mm, our second biggest DEX, and of course, been around for a long time, on an uptrend and at a breakout level. Is it going to do it? Well, it's got room to move on the daily. We're at 65, elevated, as I say. But let's have a look at the 4-hour. We're up at 65. So this thing might just slowly creep up, and it's at a turning point here. 1 cent right now. Can it break it? It does look like it might do that. We need a bit of lift in volumes. If we get that overnight, could be the time, right? Could get that breakout on 9mm, our second biggest DEX, and it has been doing some pretty good volumes. 300k, but it has been up at 800k, $1 million in the last weeks or so. But 300k still dominating there at the moment. All right, so that is 9mm sitting at number 4. Number 5 is SCADA, one of our smaller innovative teams with nuclear supply, up 7.8%. This did have a sell-off, didn't it, I think? This couple of days sell-off there, but it has recovery the last 3 or 4 days. So there we go, bouncing off 7,200, now at 1/10 of a penny. So not bad there, not bad. Now, chances of picking off the bottom here were pretty low, but up 52% there in 3 days. Bit of a recovery there. Small retail play, relatively speaking, but still, it's a good team there, good tokenomics. Shiba Inu. Remember, nothing I say is financial advice. Do your own due diligence. I'm just going through the top 100. You guys know it. We do the most comprehensive coverage of Pulsechain as one of the largest influencers on Pulsechain. That's what we do. That's our brand. Daily shows covering that. All right, so Shiba Inu there at the moment, up 5%. That's on SHIB, and small liquidity on that too. We've got that's been around for over 3 years. So let's have a quick look at it. We did see a meme coin start to move about 4 or 5 weeks ago, didn't we? When we saw Pepe and SHIB on the major billboards there start to move on that Saturday. I think it was a Saturday, wasn't it? So they've got a bit more life in them because they were kind of lagging behind the DeFis, the perpetuals and everything else. Nice little pump there. Look at that mega pump on this chart. Liquidity still, 31k. Remember, everything on Pulsechain, apart from those top 6 pairs, are basically retail plays. Up 10x here in the price in the last 2 weeks, and then most of it in that pump back on the 4th there for the SHIB. Small retail play, only $1,000 of volume today. Take note of that. Don't get too excited. But it might go up 10x, but if you can't exit, you can't exit, right? And screw it, damn it. All right, so there is that trade-off, right? Number 7, 8 is at the moment incentive token, up 4.6%. Prevex in the mix as well, and PlusX as well. So we've got a lot of Richard calls all the way down to number 16 there right now. We'll come back to X at some stage. DAT token, let's see, what else? We've got DAT token at number 17, up 3.8%. Pulse Puppy, another small one there, up 3.8%. Both of them similar liquidity pools on the majors there, 46, 45k. What else we got there? So DAT meme coin there. Bonnie, another meme coin, 67k liquidity. It is up 3%, 3.2%. Reserve Tay James Maria up 3%. Atropa James Maria up 3%. Peacock there is at 1.25 penny, up at 2.7% there. We are expecting big things for Peacock moving forward, but certainly that's up today. At least slight up today. Teddy Bear James Maria again, 2.5% up today. Patias, our biggest DEX aggregator, up 2.4% today. And Sparta there with a HEX derivative, not included in the monster thread. We did a big HEX coverage there but that is up 2.3% today. It's got apparently a couple $100 million in the LPX. Number 39, Smorg as well, is up 2.1%. Most Wanted, another one of our top meme coins, up 2% there. And then we got Mafia coming in here at the moment from Rack and Michelle, up 2%. A coin launcher site, $2.90. What else we got going on here at the moment? Let's scroll down. Vouch, our number one public validator, up 1.7%. Big shout out to Jix out there. And what else? Phoenix, another small one there, up 1.7%. Liquidity not too bad, 77K for retail players on Pulsechain. Curve, so-called property tokenization, although I haven't seen too much from it yet, at 1.5%. Swarm, another one of our boutique sort of smaller teams, at 1.4% there. Fedvesta, the grandparent of OG Fedvesta, obviously with the V3 DEX launch recently, that is also up slightly. Where we go down there, we moved $2.55, up 1.3%. I'd have that on the watch list. I mean, not financial advice, of course, but yeah, let's see what they can do and moving forward. That'd be interesting. Is this the old Mafia coin? When was this? 7 months ago? No, it's not the old one. I'm not sure who set that up. Maybe that was the Mafia from Coin Mafia. Maybe that was that one. What else we got going there? Pump Tires die at 1.2%. Some of the Peacock ones in here, Zero Trust, Peacock Ninjas from OG Web Chef, all up about 1%. Not much to see there. So that's pretty much it at the moment. I'm not going to go through all those. We've got a few more there, but 80 coins are in the green at the moment. What did we say Pulsechain was up? Let me just bring that back because I forgot. Sometimes I try to remember it as I'm going, but it's up 2.5%, let's say, just under 2.5%. So how many are doing better than Pulse and the peers? We'll scroll all the way back up here. Let's take the line here. 30, let's say 30 peers are doing better than Pulse today on the top 100 here. Dex Screen is default trending view. The losers today, well, Liquid Loans has been a winner. It is down today, though. People taking profits, 12% at the moment. Solid X is down 4.5% as well. PTC The Grays is down 3%. X Game down 3.5%. So these are all firewall stuff. Liquid Loans, of course, crypto crazy out there. They got their mobile app coming. Let's have a quick look at this chart on the old Liquid Loans, and let's go to the daily. Why is that looking so weird? This is the second time. Remember, it's Liquid Loans. Maybe it's because of the DEX that it's on. Yeah, this is on PulseX, is it? I think it's PulseX one. Seems to show up properly. All right, so let's have a look here. So, they had a nice rally last 70 days. This is a weekly chart, candles, up 700%. So an ADX and Liquid Loans. So, a little profit today. Not surprising. So that is a pretty good. Liquid Loans had a nice recovery there. Remember that liquidity was it 22K or somewhere? I just remember that being sort of down there. Now it's at 79. So, you can slowly grind the LP up if you've got enough buying. And we had that volume coming in. What did it peak out? Peak out volume yesterday, I guess 94K. So pretty massive, really, down to 24K today with a bit of profit taking there off the top. That was a Liquid Loan. Solid X, I won't go through those. PTC The Grays, let's have a quick look at these. So the biggest pair there, almost $500,000. Let's have a look at PTC The Grays. Our first DAO token, one of our biggest communities, a lot of influencer support. A big shout out to Pyramid Nana out there. And so, we're watching this. Got some pretty interesting staking and locking tokenomics, buy and burn tokenomics, treasury, and it's got a lot of stuff like that. They're very one of the most active teams, and a lot of UI UX cool websites and data information. So it's got a bit of everything. One of our more mature teams in that way. Now, still doesn't mean it's going to be a winner, but certainly a lot of catalysts for the upside. And we've got the price at 3,700 at the where we bottomed out there. There's weekly candles as well because it's been around for so long. We're currently at 407,000. Got resistance at 8,600 there. 8,600, but certainly on an uptrend. Still got lower highs and lower lows, so it's got to do a bit of work. Very bullish, and by the time it comes bullish, you missed out quite a bit of the move, but very bullish at 0.0001650 on the chart there. Let's look at the pulse ratio. It's 7 at the moment, so bounced off just let's say 5. It's up at 7 now, and got a lot of resistance at 17, and back here with these two tops around 20, 21, 22. But let's look at the RSI on the Pulse Weekly. Lots of room to move there. 44 on the daily. It's at 50. And then on the 4 hour there, it's all the way down here at 35. So it might get a recovery soon in the price. Keep a lookout for that. All right, so that's the kind of the main charts there. Let's go to Pulse Coin List. How we're doing for the time? An hour and 15 on the hour as we're doing our daily coverage of Pulsechain. Let's have a look at some other ones that kind of don't show up on deck screen that much, but PDI sitting at 21/100th of a penny, up 16% for the week, 2.4% today. Obviously, one of our biggest communities as well, like PDC, the PDI community, one of the biggest ones there. Very different type of community than any others we have. Let me just say that. You guys, if you've been to Telegram, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's up there at the moment. We got Wrap Bitcoin has been a big mover, and people are excited about it. Apparently, there's not that much Wrap Bitcoin left in the pools. Well, they can all change if someone decides to put a lot of Wrap Bitcoin in the pool, right? But at the moment, it's definitely been enjoying a 45% increase in the last week, 6% this today, sitting at $244. It does have a cool narrative. Some people that say, "Oh, Wrap Bitcoin's going to get to the value of the actual Bitcoin." It's a bit of a joke, right? It would have to have like Richard Hart come in behind it and peg it somehow. Maybe 300. What's Libby Swap talking about? 300,000 Bitcoin come over chain, teasing that number. I don't know why they just picked that number, but anyway, it's interesting stuff going on there. But anyway, we got Wrap Bitcoin 244. I like the narrative, Wrap Bitcoin, but we've got a lot of, got Pulse Bitcoin on the chain, but having the copied fork, it's always going to be interesting to see the price discovery. And so, I kind of like the Wrap Bitcoin thesis. I certainly like it more than, in some ways, more than the PDI thesis, given the scarcity. There's 44 billion PDI. There's only 154,000 Wrap Bitcoin, and apparently only about 1,700 or something in the pool. I haven't added it up today, but something like that. So it does make it easier for the rise if there's enough belief. But of course, with that is your volatility, and it certainly had a big run up lately. 114, look at that, 114. Let's do the old ruler on their old Wrap Bitcoin. $113. It's pumped all the way up to 260. That's a 130% move in a month. And over the last 35 days, it's 115%, so $130 move there. So it's been a pretty profitable play, and you've seen those volumes rise up there. And of course, the bulls will keep saying there's less and less Wrap Bitcoin in there, but it doesn't mean that people can't sell their Wrap Bitcoin down and take some profit and do all that sort of stuff, right? Or new Wrap Bitcoin wakes up and goes, "Hey, look, my money's worth double what it was a month ago. I'm going to sell some of that." So I mean, it's still all this supply and demand to play out, but certainly the scarcity narrative and of course the branding narrative, arguably, is what people like here. How high will it get to? Well, no one really knows, but it's got to be a fraction of percentage of the actual real Bitcoin. And there's only so much capital on Pulsechain as well. So, even though it's scarce supply, so take note of that. But let's look at the US dollar price. We peaked out here, didn't we? Or we had a spike all the way up to 2,700. So, that kind of gives you some idea. Maybe it could get up to there, something like that on a rally. Certainly looking good on the weekly here. But once again, pretty speculative, but got a nice narrative, let's say. And the scarcity kind of supports it a little bit. But there will be ebbs and flows. It's still, arguably relatively cheap, 243 based on the past. But we'll see how it goes, there. But I like it. It's a bit of fun. Once again, you won't want to put your life savings in it necessarily, but you could put a little punt in there. It's up to you. But that there's more risk averse positions with lots of upside out there. But certainly, maybe have a little bit of put your paw in the water. I don't know, who knows, but we'll see what happens there. Not financial advice. All right, so that is Wrap Bitcoin. Wrap Bitcoin there. P-Wrap Bitcoin, the fork. We've seen some interesting other things. P Tiger, of course, up 176% this week. Wow. Atropa, James Maria on the move a little bit. Liquid Loans on the move a bit there. Seeing our blue chips on the move, that's not surprising. If we get this rally going to the next wave, all the blue chips there, there's probably 15 or so that could all really rally. Some more than others, of course. Peacock up 9% for the week, and of course about to unleash. We're going to check that out too. What else we've got there? USDC, all the other copies like PDI up 20%. There another ways to look at it. USD Tether up 22%. What else is pretty interesting? We got Pmin up 45%, 67% for Pika. Pika there. What else there? Down token. Got a couple of random ones, right? Now the volumes are really small here, right? 2,000-3,000. That's why I say, most things on Pulsechain retail trades. But as price, as we re-rate, 10x back to sacrifice price, then there's a lot more. I guess they're not quite retail; they're a bit better than that. They're a bit better maybe. Depends what you define. If you go to Solana or something like that, what you define as a retail. But certainly, everything's going to reinflate if we get those prices back up, wave after wave, and more capital flows over the bridge, and we get more waves of capital flow. So that is pretty much it on the Pulsechain coverage there. So pretty modest day today, but certainly slightly green, and Pulse is at 401. We'll take that, right? We'll take that. All right, so let's go to Liberty Swap, shall we? And then we're going to have a quick look at the monster threads. How are we doing for time? We're at an hour and 20. We're not doing too bad. We're still waiting for a whole ton of products to be released from Liberty Swap. So they said they're ready. I guess they just need the right timing, finishing off UIs and things like that, probably stuff like that. So let's quickly look here. I don't know how far we have to go back. 12 hours ago, they said big week. That was 12 hours ago. Pulsechain or nothing. So I don't know whether they've got any. They have nice little replies here. Very big week. So they've got a big week, guys. We're going to do our best to follow it with their updates. Release the Kraken, they say. And we got, what was it, Lady Liberty there? The Liberty flag there. Release the Kraken indeed. So got the build up for the launches, I guess. Is this what you call it? The build up for launches there. What else there? Yeah. So that's pretty much it. So we're waiting for the unleashing of all these protocols and other features for units here, DeFi protocol. A few wallet updates there. Bridge to Pulsechain. What else there? RPC. So let's move forward here. Pulsechain friends, you're not going anywhere. Stay on Pulsechain. Hold your coins with me, at least until the end of November when we renegotiate. I don't know what the hell it means, but we got this update, which was Liberty Swap V3 releases this week. So that's definitely one of the big updates. It's going to have it's going to have Monad to Pulsechain two-way. So those talking about Monad, it's going to have Robinhood chain to Pulsechain one way, and ETH base and Arbitrum to Pulsechain one way as well. So it's going to be much faster, 1 to 2 minutes. So that's the big bridge. This is kind of the big river that they're building all the DeFis on. It's going to have 2 times the capacity. Liberty Swap V3 can handle up to 20 million in daily volume. So preparing for even more volumes to come. Very cool. SDK free support, which is very cool. They brought that on earlier this year. And more Liberty Swap products and updates coming. So we're expecting this to be a really good week moving forward. They say that we know Monad is rising and getting more attention. Robinhood chain is another important new gateway for retail users. Direct banking access and zero fees on off ramps are no joke. The Su, Say, and Sonic, and even Cardano are far from dead. We want their liquidity flowing into Pulsechain. So definitely doing a lot of support there with the bridge. A pivotal player there, of course, for the chain. Very cool. So I think that's kind of it at the moment. Let's see what else they got here. Let's see. That's probably it. So we're just waiting. Basically, just waiting. So it could be any day. Could be today. Could be tomorrow. Could be the rest of August. There, seeing all these products roll out on the chain. All right. So that's pretty much it. I don't know whether Fastall is going to launch, but we're going to go to the Monster Thread. So MBS here, the editor-in-chief of the Monster Thread. Monster Thread is an official publication of the Crypto Night Show. And of course, MBS is the promotional lead for the Crypto Night Show. So if you want to get in the Monster Thread as a professional publication, then either hit him up in the first case or hit me up. And we can help get your brand awareness as well. So we've been playing a key role in that. 67 weeks, guys. 67 weeks of editions for the Pulsechain Weekly Monster Thread, reaching probably 35 to 50,000 readers a week, and it is playing its role as a dynamic newspaper basically that comes out every week on Pulsechain. So it's kind of cool, and it covers a lot of the cool activities people are doing, covers a lot of the key influencers, covers a lot of the key DeFi that are rolling out. So you don't really miss too much of a beat on here. It's very, very exciting indeed. All right, so let's get into it. Richard's intro, 1 million homes, Carmel, Kawi, and more monster moves. Check out, of course, Emmett Farm and True DeFi for the best farming options. So if you are after high DeFi yields, Emmett Farm, True DeFi there are the ways to go. Richard's intro. So Richard asked the community earlier this week, you're writing an awesome intro to Richard Hart. What do you make sure is on the one pager? What's the elevator pitch? And of course, you can submit your introduction to Richard Hart. And there's the link there. He's got his famous toilet that he was fixing up for I think it was his mum and his dad in Florida when he was over there last time. And so there we go. A lot of people, replying. I even put one in myself. Why not? And so we've got many others there. Look at that. Matty Allen, many other people. Lots of people from the community, all sorts of people. All right, so 1 million homes. Wildest J and Irish Griffin, as you guys know, are kind of running the non-profit for the Pulsechain promo pads that are going around the world. They're ramping up their marketing efforts, aiming to put Pulsechain in over 1 million homes, which is awesome. Volunteers needed every day in California. Hit them up now. So you're always after volunteers, and that's a way you can help out if you're in California or you're traveling there. Definitely hook them up there, and you got a cool updates from Wildest J, the positivity princess. There she is in action at the Beehive, is what they call it in the Beehive. Yeah, sorry, the Hive there. They call it in California there. You can see them all working there, along with RG Captain there, having a good time. All right, so democratize pulse staking. We said, big changes happening in Pulsechain staking for validating, and lots of options now out there. We've got public validators like Vouch and PlusX or ValidX from Haunted and Jexa. Those two guys launched those products, and they've been doing very well. Two top public validators there, a bit like Lido and Rocket Pool. So pretty cool. You can get your own hardware. David Fedder's been doing that, and you can stake there. But now David Fedder's moving into doing cloud service as well. So self-service validator, software as a service, is it? Yeah, I'm working on a new product for Pulsechain to democratize pulse staking. Val Cloud there, self-service validator hosting without running your own node. So taking the hardware out there, that makes it a lot more profitable business, right? I guess he's going to get part of he gets the tips and you get the block reward, I think is the way it works. That was from David Fedder there like that. And he's got a few comments below, I think, as well. So big shout out to David. He's got a few other posts on that also. So leading the way, making it really cool. So getting a lot of good products there. Double the coffee, crypto coffee, of course. Double the coffee. And he showcased how his public Pulsechain DCA ZKX wallet doubled in value in just 2 months. Now, there are a number of other people doing public public wallets for ZKX. And it's got that, early Hex vibes, right? We're kind of on this first wave of pumping on Pulsechain, and now we've got these wallets, a little bit like Hex. It's really cool to see. So over the past 2-3 months, here's Crypto Coffee. I put in $700 of crypto coins onto Pulsechain. Now it's worth almost double, and nobody seems to care about crypto yet. I wonder if this portfolio will get to 5 figures or even 6 figures in the months ahead. It's currently at $1,325 at the time of publication. He's got a bit of Hex in it, a bit of Pulsex in it, a bit of Hex Pulse, a bit of ProveX, and a little bit of Peacock, and of course Top Hat, which is a coin he launched. So pretty cool. Not a bad portfolio there too, right? Not bad. So had 10,000 views on that so far. Very cool stuff. So that's from Crypto Coffee. Carmel Week. Well, triple dads out there working hard. Distributed Pulsechain tablets while attending the Carmel Car Week. Lambos galore. We've got to look at some of those. He's got so many pictures, guys. But here's some Pulsechain tablets. They're getting out everywhere, aren't they? And here's the car show. So you got old cars, classic cars, modern cars, Lambos. He's just got tons of stuff on it. I mean, if you go to his profile, he's been enjoying this Carmel show. Look at this, all these fast cars. McLaren car for Sandy Beach. A Cannonball Run Maserati for Hexologist with the old pictures there. Not bad. What else have you got there? This one has to go to Brother KG. Pretty nice, actually. This is a really nice. I like that. That looks really good. What's this one here? Your friend Somi. Ferrari. Yeah, Ferrari has typically been my favorite, but that is pretty cool. I like probably have a different color, but the white's there is nice. Liberty Swap got a cool. What's this? Aston Valhalla. Aston Martin there, I guess. Looking pretty trending. Look at that carbon fiber. Looks like it. You got your Porsches. So he's got lots of stuff here. Lots of stuff in there. Just trying to look here. Look at that. Lambo goes to Cypherdex. This is probably this is what Rack and Michelle would like, but he likes green, right? Likes green. It's probably like this model. It's probably Rack and Michelle. Ferrari goes to Lola Hartwin as well. Yeah, look at that Ferrari, man. That's badass. Yeah, that's my favorite there, right there. So far, pretty cool. So lots of other cars in there. Pink Lambos for Wildest J. I'm sure she would love driving around in that. Pull up to the old Hive in California there. Pretty cool. So lots of cool cars in the mix there from Carmel Week there. Not bad, eh? So that's Carmel Car Week and promo pads, Pulsechain promo pads handed out. Internet Money on fire. Our number one wallet at the moment, Internet Money Wallet, 125,542 total downloads so far. Strong growth across iOS, Android, and Chrome. So a big shout out to KG there. And of course, Unified User Experience or UI UX, True DeFi. Posted a video from founders Neil and Execution there. And of course, Daniel not shown here, but Daniel too is obviously leading the team here as well, showcasing the new True 2x Unified UI UX experience. So UI means user interface, and UX means user experience for Pulsechain, Binance, Ethereum, Solana, and more. So these guys do a managed funds approach. They also do a 2x miner, which doubles your pulse. You go in via auction and shares, and you get 2x pulse, and then they're ramping out this big DeFi ecosystem across chain. And bringing all that value back into the 2x miners to double your pulse. So that's basically the idea there, and doing a managed funds approach. So big shout out to them. They also run the DeFi on Pulsechain X Spaces as well. So this guy's just continuing to innovate with this whole new approach. And it's great to have a managed funds approach on Pulsechain. It really gives another alternative for people to participate in, should they so choose. So a big shout out to the team there. And you can check out all their stuff. They've just updated their website. It looks so good. So well done to the team on this one. And you can check it all out. So there's a little video clip on that. So definitely follow these guys. I would definitely, in True DeFi, jump into the Telegram with these guys. They are one of our biggest communities now. We talked about PDC and PDI, but definitely True DeFi, Emmet Farm guys. These are the big communities operating on the chain right now. So a big shout out to these guys doing that. All right, Pulsechain and Liber Polko. Junio, how do you say this? Junio, published images from Liberland, Liber Polko conference in Serbia, where open info services and Zerocast are representing IAMTrust and Pulsechain. Now, remember that these guys are basically focused on the commercial products for Pulsechain and beyond, and so they're doing some really cool innovations there with one link. And one link, basically, you can have an address, receive crypto payments, all that sort of stuff, and do commerce, right? So these guys are doing a big job there, and they're now out and about here, as you can see at the conference. And I think that's pretty cool. Look at that. The world forgot why crypto exists. Now, you guys know we've got a number of teams that are out at conferences now. We've got Liquid Loans out doing Southeast Asia conferences, along with, Asian on Crypto there. And we've got also going to Europe. We've got these guys out in Serbia here, which is Eastern Europe, if I remember rightly. So, lots of teams out there. KG's out at conferences. We have a lot of people at American conferences. So we're getting, Europe, Asia, and America. What did I say? Europe, Asia, and America. Getting a lot of conferences in there, and even Australia. We got these DeFi meetups and stuff. But a lot of conferences happening on those three continents, and they're great to see these guys representing. So Pulsechain, it was kind of a thing that Pulsechain underplayed for quite a bit, but it's great to see teams out there and about there getting the name out of their products as well as Pulsechain. It's kind of cool. And a lot of people hear about it, and you bring on new people and maybe new teams as well. So big shout out there. Hex Bond Desk. So Christian Mann, of course, one of our two Hex quants. He dropped another live stream talking markets, Hex, and actuator finance. Actuator finance, kind of like Hex bonds, a way of getting extra yield or liquidating and getting extra yield, or at least monetizing your Hex. And that's actuated there, so pretty cool. Burn All, Captain RG3, Trevor, Hexfire, and Triple Dad shared the stage while burning their favorite premium stogies. These guys love their stogies, their cigars, and they're out and about there doing that. We've got all cigarette smoking their cigars there. They all have their own special cigars and premium cigars. It's kind of like that thing, you get cigars and you're trying to get some of the best flavors and brands and things like that. So big shout out to these guys. A lot of OGs in there having a good time. Newcastle Hex sponsor. More sponsorships with Hex at the moment. We've seen that in the last couple of monster threads. A lot of sponsorships, which is kind of cool. Unveiled the first prints of the Newcastle Town Football Club. Hex Crypto proud sponsors. Isn't that cool? So got some cool jacks there. Look at that Hex there. Newcastle Town Football Club. Hex.com. Bring it on, baby. That's how we like to roll. Very cool indeed. They've also got the Chad stream. Cairo went live with special guest Dollar Cost Crypto, talking Hex, Pulsechain, crypto, etc. And of course, Dollar Cost Crypto, they're a pretty big influencer along with Cairo. And they had a really cool space in there. Let's quickly look at this. So there is Money Gain Crypto on the right there. A fairly big influencer, Pulsechain influencer, has been one of the key people to do adoption for Pulsechain too, especially in the run up in 21. So I can't remember the numbers, but in the tens of thousands, if I remember rightly. So great to see him back doing more coverage there. Obviously, he's been doing a lot of other stuff as well. All right, so pretty cool. What else we got there? The new golden portrait, Mo Mindset. He's been out and about. He's this guy. Honestly, he's relentless. There, he's an artist. First of all, he gets out and he shares Pulsechain using art in the most uncanny places like the BBC radio, potentially hitting millions of people. Trending on Instagram and things like that. And so he pops up all the time. But he's done a new painting now of Richard Hart. And look at that. So it's pretty cool. So he's got the PulseX, Pulsechain, etc. X, and a new one there of Rich Hart. Not quite finished yet, he says. But new RH portrait with gold. Long way to finish. Very cool. But he's been out and about, guys. I mean, he's out there with everybody, meeting celebrities, all sorts of people. Pretty crazy. In fact, I think he's got one here where he, look to see the artwork there. Isn't that cool? It's 25, but you can see the artwork there looking pretty good. And he's out and about all the time. Spreading the word there. Look at him handing out Pulsechain tablets as well. So he's always on the move. This here is a big food critic, well-known food critic, apparently in the UK, Danny, and he's got one too, with the old Pulsechain on there. So, people have different ways of spreading the word, and this is really cool. I like that. And of course, big, hitting big numbers there. So it all makes a difference, doesn't it? Now, Claz in session. So Crypto Claz, one of our top female influencers. She's back again after a bit of a holiday. Brought together the ladies, Sammy Chica and Miss Fiber Finance for a live stream titled "Is Crypto Really Dead?" So it's great to see our top, Pulsechain influencers back, especially the ladies in the house. And they've got fighting kangaroos with the damn kangaroos. All right, everywhere there. All right. So you can see the ladies there looking pretty good. Let's see. Have we got all three of them on the thing? There we go. So that is Sammy Chick at the bottom there, Miss Fiber Finance on the top right, and Crypto Claz there on the top left as well. And they're fantastic. So big shout out to the ladies there. What else there? No middle super chat. So if you're an influencer out there, YouTube, they take 30% of super chats. I mean, they're just right thieves, right? It's really a ripoff. But Stake Hex has shared a brand new non-custodial super chat with 0% platform fees for creators. So if you're a creator out there, this could be something for you. And I haven't tested it out yet, but certainly something to look at. And it's got all the details there. It can work on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and TikTok, which are pretty cool. Rumble and website streaming apps. So pretty cool. Any software that can integrate it. So it's cool stuff there. It's got the showcase there. Look at YouTube. So if you do a super chat, they take 30%. I mean, they just rip off. YouTube rip off artists. And we got platform fee there, 0 on the new super chat there from Pulsechain. So definitely worth trying it out. I might try that out myself. Kind of cool. But look at that. Pretty neat there. And of course, it's got all the other channels as well. Great right up there. So big shout out to Hexalina. Nice. I guess I should say something very nice. All right, it's cool. So that there is looking good. We got Crypto Claz in there liking that too, and even Crypto Coffee. I use this if it was easy to install and easy for the viewers. As a script says Helena there, so it does take a little bit of maybe trying out there for the influencers. The Roaring Tiger. Now we saw on the top 100 trending that Crypto Tiger God and the Tiger tokens on the move. Well, he's been on some interviews lately. Money Gain Crypto went live with Tiger Crypto God covering Pulsechain, and of course P Tiger Momentum there. So we've got a bit of a stream there, I think, between these two. With Money Gain Crypto and Tiger God. So we're going to have a quick look at that. So here are the two guys. Is it? Yeah, there we go. That's Tiger Crypto God on the left there. It's on the left, and that's Money Gain Crypto on the right there. So you can check that out if you like. So that is the news for the Monster Thread. We've got honorable mentions. Pep Lord, one of our top X influencers now on X in the top 10, now has an official X account, so you can follow Pep Lord as well. Pretty cool. Let's have a quick look at it. That's the link there. So give him a track there. He also does Pulse tickers as well. So if you want to follow Pulsechain charts, he's got his cool little UI there for his DAT. Check that out. Also, DeFi Triggs getting paid to talk about what he loves, PewDie and Hex. So DeFi Triggs also another top 10 X influencer now on Pulsechain at the moment. And of course getting paid for it too. Nice. So he's been earning from that, which suggests that he's doing really well with his impressions. Maddie Allen, one of our top influencers, does all the crypto conferences for Pulsechain, along with RH Max these days. How much crypto is enough? Maddie Allen Live. So Maddie's been back streaming again as well. Very, very cool. So one of the things that you've been seeing in the Monster thread is particularly this week and maybe even last week is that a lot of the influencers are either streaming more if they've been streaming already or have come out of the woodwork and now streaming. So we're getting that kind of first wave of influencers back, and that's all self-positive flywheel stuff, right? The Pulsechain starts moving, the influencers come back to either do more or come back out of the woodwork, and we get it just self-fulfills itself, gets more people hearing about it, and that's real positive. So big shout out to all these guys coming back. Execute there today. Fire was created on Pulsechain. Now we've been talking about the last 2 weeks. We've had this resurgence of agentic AI, particularly AI agents on Pulsechain. People have been providing services to applications to integrate that, so you can actually do trading and things. And we've got Execute here, one of our big X influencers, does X spaces and stuff. Looks like he's launched some sort of product there. Today, Fire was created on the Pulsechain, so it's got this little bot animation here around PulseX, and I think it does some sort of yield protocol. I haven't looked into it fully, but it looks pretty interesting there. Let's click on this otter link here and see if it's got anything particular on the chain, and that's what it does. So a little animation there. It's got a little a machine that compounds agentic PulseX vaults. Kind of cool. So it could be something that people might be looking at there. Deposit one agentic PulseX vault NFT into this module, and it claims the vault's accrued PulseX fees and puts them straight back into work as liquidity. So kind of interesting, right? So we're getting this, last week, this week, real emergence of AI agents and payment type things, trading bots type things going on. It's a whole world there. Now, I do want to get into, getting a bit more deeper on that. We'll try and do our best to do that moving forward. All right, so that is from Execute. Finally, for the honorable mentions, we've got RH Max. How high can Hex go? Another double and a double. It did 10,000 X before. Now we'll see. So that's from RH Max there, doing a live stream on that topic. So if you want to go hear that, RH Max, of course, one of the top Pulsechain influencers out there as well. Go check that out. Now, weekly DeFi scoop, we've got Switch, obviously from Brandon, another one of our top influencers and developers. Stop swapping and start switching. Look, I've used SwitchX. It is fantastic, guys, and gives a very good rate. And it's something like, I think, 23 LP routes now. It really is. And, of course, it's on multiple chains. So we'll check that out in a minute. True DeFi build shares and receive Pulse dividends. True DeFi bringing that managed funds approach to Pulsechain, doubling the Pulse, giving a lot of, launching a lot of alpha DeFi and particularly yield farms, going multi-chain, omni-chain. Really excited with these guys. These guys just keep going, and look, that new UI UX experience on their True DeFi app is looking really good. So these guys are making it really easy for people to use. VersaVault is coming, our 6th liquidity fork from Triple DAT. It's got its own little secret source protocol for stability and reflections. So this is coming, guys. Interest-free loans. 6th liquidity fork. Looking forward to that, and it's going to be multi-collateral as well. And then, of course, we've got a special article out this week for the Monster thread, the Kingdom of Hex, biggest Hex derivative protocols on page 5. And then finally, of course, we've got so much news, guys, projects and people, spotlights on Crypto Night Show, a lot of other pieces of items there from small, medium teams, all sorts of people on there too. So pretty cool. But you got to love these images from the community out and about, spreading the word. And that's all you can do. You can do it at home. Just tell your neighbor, tell your friend, just one person at a time. The network effect really plays out there. We've got the lady streamers back again. These guys are wonderful. Great show there. And, of course, the guys as well with their stogies having a good time as well. And, people handing out promo tabs at the Carmel Car Week, like Triple Dad. And look at the stall here. Pretty cool. They're out everywhere. Every single week on the Monster, they've got these promo tabs. Pulsechain promo tabs going out all sorts of places now on multiple continents and multiple people doing them in the most interesting places, from a cafe in Italy to a car, a classic cars. It's out everywhere, guys. It's pretty cool. All right, so kind of cool. Let's jump into some of the other things that are going on. So page 2 is SwitchX. So if you haven't used this, one of our top DEX aggregators from Brandon, amazing stuff happening. And this support's going to be supporting tokenization to some degree. We can't wait to see where Brandon's heading with that. Obviously, after launching the Switch DEX and the V3 DEX, it's pretty cool. DEX aggregator, I should say, in the DEX. Stop swapping, start switching. Best rates every single time. Fastest switches, tax token compatible, ultra low fees, 23 liquidity sources, and it is awesome service. I've used it. It's really great. I've played around with most of the DApps on Pulsechain. Not all of them, but a good chunk of them. And works on Pulsechain, Ethereum, Base, and Robinhood. So if you want to quickly swap between these chains, it's the way to go. Really cool there. Petius just integrated Switch as well. So one of our arguably still our top biggest DEX by volume. Better liquidity and high output for everybody. Win-win. Whales keep leaving money on the table. Switch delivers more every trade. So you can match up DEX aggregators to each other or DEXs and see which is the best rate. Switch there definitely delivering great results. Trigger PulseX buy and burns as well with the volume. Partner program is live, so if you want to get a bit of a ticket on the fees, you can put it into like a website or things like that with the DEX aggregator and clip the ticket. Special things, something special is coming soon. I'm not sure what this is going to be, but we know that he's been teasing about tokenization. And look, I think Brandon's, in the Switch ecosystem looks like it's going to be easily top 3, top 5 protocol developer on Pulsechain, and excited for where he's going to go with this. Very, very cool. Top volume on Pulsechain, switch, don't swap, get more what you're switching to. You can also do limit orders on here, guys. So it's one of our blue chip offerings for limit orders. And you can see the top tokens that have been trading through there, including the cores and things like that over the last 30 days. A nice little one there. So big shout out to Brandon. Keep up the great work. The next one, of course, is True DeFi. This is really innovative in the DeFi space. You can go and try and look for it, but I'm not sure if anyone else is doing this. But it's kind of managed funds approach. And these guys, like I say, 2x miners, things like that. So let's quickly run through this. We've got True DeFi there. Simplicity explains its adoption. 1.83 billion Pulse gets distributed. You own 6.22% of the shares. You get 6.22% of the dividends. True 2x really can be that simple. Now, forget the 6.22% for the moment. What if you own 1% of all True 2x shares? When 1 billion Pulse is available for daily dividends, your miners participate with that 1%. When 2 billion Pulse is available, your miners participate with 1% share, and of course 3 billion, etc. So you know what happens. You get a big share there. Your percentage determines your share of the daily Pulse dividends. The percentage does not have to be 1%. It can be 0.1%. It can be 0.01%. Simply represents your position with the True 2x mining pool. And that makes True 2x surprisingly easy to understand. Build your share, own your percentage, receive your percentage of the daily Pulse dividends. Day after day, your miners accumulate Pulse towards their 2x. So you basically go into an auction with your Pulse, you get shares, and then you just set that it's go in the miner, and the DeFi is working in the background. And to get you up to that 2x, double your Pulse bags. And of course, the Pulse price is going up. You're going up in US dollars at a faster rate as well. If you compound instead of withdrawing, there's also that opportunity too. You use your today's Pulse to build more shares, increase your participation in the dividends that follow. So you can play the auction really smart to get more shares on particular days. Now the percentage itself becomes something you can build, deposit and compound your idle Pulse until you own the percentage that makes you feel like a DeFi winner. So getting a certain percentage is one way of playing this. In terms of working for you. Deposit and compound your idle PLS to get your percentage share, and it makes you feel like a DeFi winner. Meet us in the True DeFi Telegram group, and like I say, they are one of the biggest communities now on Pulsechain. Get guidance and start building your share today. So there we go. So cool stuff there, and of course they got the new UI DAT out there, and it's so easy to follow. And participate. So, but definitely get into Telegram there. They've got their voice chat on all the time. I mean, it's really, really active there. Number 4, of course, here is VersaVault. This is from Triple DAT, highly respected community member. The white paper is out, so you can read that now. Interest-free loans against your crypto, like Pulse, Wrapped ETH, PulseX, mint fully backed VSD. So this is going to be a new stablecoin coming to Pulsechain when it launches. I expect it to launch this month, so I think they might get there. Just one fee, of course, to do that. No interest recurring. That's pretty cool. What else we got there? They're going to have a really cool redemption and stability pool. Oh, excuse me, sneezed. I hate that on live stream, but happens from time to time. We got stake VersaVault for real protocol fees. It's only going to be 100 million hard cap, which is kind of cool. Real yield to holders, immutable contracts, of course, and that's coming very soon. So I would jump into the I'd give them a follow on X on both accounts, and then follow into the Telegram and get involved. That's how you get all the secret sauce and get early and all that sort of stuff, and ask all your questions. You can or talk to Triple Dad in the actual Telegram. So do that, and of course the UI looks fantastic. Look at that; it's beautiful piece of art there. And so that's coming. Our 6th liquidity fork coming to Pulsechain, and with the new stablecoin, new yield opportunities, and a few different mechanisms there for stability, including reflection. So keep a lookout for that. That's really cool coming from Triple Dad. Now, we have a special post in the month thread this week, page 5, and that is the Kingdom of Hex. Did you realize how big Hex is getting? Now, there's a few other DeFis out there as well that support Hex, but these are some of the main ones that have really made a big impact. The Kingdom of Hex derivatives. So let's go through them. We've got Super Stake, Auto Compounds, rolling 60-day Hex stakes and volume reflection for holders. We've got Actuator, of course, this Hex bond, right? You see Crispy Man talking about it all the time. Mint tradable HTTs against your HSI stakes. So this has got different time horizons, right? For instant liquidity without early exits. So, we're seeing booms in Hex staking. Well, a lot of people are probably going into this Actuator with them, right? It's kind of interesting link there. Definitely check up on Crispy Man for all the details. Omega, a DeFi, of course, stake and lock up for up to 10x Hex yield, powered by real protocol taxes. So obviously, people like that next level of risk return with the Omega there. ALGO, Hex derivative as well, been around for a long time, right? Hex positive meme with farming, auto buybacks, and DAO treasuries. And what we've seen that lately, we've seen like an 8x, was it, in the ALGO? Pretty impressive. Flex as well, Power City, one of our first 4 liquidity forks. Interest-free loans there against Hex, minimal stable coins. Of course, XDC is the stable coin there. Flex is the main token, I think. We haven't looked at that for a while, but that is taking Hex in. Hedron, of course, out there from Alex McFurter, tokenized stakes as NFTs and mint borrow Hedron against them. And then, of course, we've got iCoza as well from Alex as well, stake Hedron and incentives that boost the whole Hex loop. So those two kind of go together there. And then, of course, you guys remember during the bear market, these products here from Alex McFurter were big Hex sinkers, right? And of course, offering other yields. And the other big one during the bear market was from Dipcatcher and Goldkey, Maximus, all these Hex staking pools, liquid staking in max length pooled stakes for gas-free yield. And you guys know, I think it's, what is the one? Maximus one as well is going to be one of the 2 big whales out there. Was it 2033 or 34, something like that? Along with the Hex God whale, these will be the 2 giant Hex stakes, excluding the OA stuff. Keep a lookout for Maximus products. Could be some good value to pick up there, particularly between the midpoint, the mid-time between the 10 years and the 15 years. It could be some good opportunities there for the old Maximus products there. Obviously, Dipcatcher's moving on to FlexNext on Ethereum, and that is a second layer ecosystem for EHEX, right? So pretty exciting. That's not listed on here, but that is also part of that. Which one are you stacking now? So, Hex, it's got lots of opportunities. Obviously, you can just put Hex and stake Hex, and the yield there. But, man, lots of ways of amplifying and getting involved with a lot of these other Hex derivatives too. All right, and finally, we had so much news, guys, that page 6, projects and people spotlights. We've got heaps of stuff here because, the last 2 weeks has really picked up. Charts have picked up. Everything is on the move on Pulsechain. We're getting a lot of value projects as well, so it is good times. Brandon there highlighted big integrations. BTS with added Pulsex routing. Switch Win, the DEX added V2, V3 support for trade on Trench on Pulsechain. So pretty cool. They're all in one DEX. So getting even more DEXs added into the aggregator. Bretep, the Pulsechain dev, shouted out Starfire, right? Starfire there. And of course, for the awesome Fight for Hex website, people have been enjoying that. There's a website where people go. I'll click on it. Hopefully it shows up. But basically, it's got the Hex price, it's supply and demand. And they're basically fighting on this field, right? So here we go. That's it there. So fighting. That's the buy and sells fighting each other for the Hex price. That's pretty crazy, right? You gotta love it, right? You gotta love it. Welcome to crypto, guys. That is the buyers and sellers fighting each other, apparently. So that's been pretty popular. Everyone's enjoyed that. All right. So what else we got there? We got Trayvon there. Huge influencer, right? Announced Hex and PulseX staking are now live on his More token. So big shout out to Trayvon there. Look at that. So he's been getting involved there around as well. You got to remember, Trayvon ran one of the 2 early hourglasses in early 2020 when Hex launched. And that one actually successfully continued on for a long time. And of course, we saw the Hex Godwell exit at 50 million Hex, was it? 50 billion Hex. I can't remember the number now. That was a big number, but he's got a lot of history there as well. So there is Trayvon. All right, so Fat Sammy, one of our top Pulsechain influencers out there, pretty much. I don't know if is he the head of the chair of the Pulse Bitcoin Council, but he shared a video highlighting his conviction on Pulse Bitcoin, and you can check that out too. So Pulse Bitcoin there from Fat Sammy. He does great videos. Don't you love these? I should probably do some videos like this too, but Fat Sammy's kind of leading the way, and very cool there. Morbius, our big gaming site now. So we are starting to enter into the gaming era on Pulsechain again. Hopefully we get good quality stuff, and Morbius is leading the way there. Very impressive there. Over 30 games now. Wow. VIP tiers, weekly giveaways and more. And Morbius, of course, Fire Kyle has been very consistent with Morbius. Let's quickly look at it. It is, if you want to get into gaming and playing poker and things like that, this is the place to go. But look at all these games now. I mean, it almost looks like Bitfury, right? One of the top crypto places in the world. He's done a very good job. Look at all these games, guys. Amazing. You can even set up your own games and take profits from it and stuff like that. But look at all that stuff, guys. Awesome stuff, right? Just amazing stuff there. Look at that. So we probably should be doing more coverage of that, and hopefully we will in the future. Obviously, Morbius token. So big shout there. So, we do have a big gaming platform. We are looking forward to also probably have 2 of those running. We've obviously got Firewall running his. So ALGO is kind of 2 gaming ecosystems up at the moment, plus a lot of other smaller ones, AI stuff coming from Wick and stuff potentially. But in terms of, probably serious hardcore, that's probably the main one right now, along with Firewall stuff potentially. I haven't looked at Firewall stuff yet, but that's in play. And of course, we're looking for on-chain bet to come from Jacob. And he says he's over 75% of the way there about a month ago. So we could have another big one there too. So big shout out to Fire Kyle there. Keep up the great work. That site's looking great, and the games are really good there too. Opus Eco, 3 new products are live in the Opus ecosystem, one of our smaller teams, but offering reflection and printer tokens. So they've launched 3 more products. So a quick look at those. We've got a probability shop, trade yes or no on real world outcomes in the AMM prediction market. They've got an outcome exchange, 2 parties lock pulse against each other on the outcome of any event. And then they've got a Smorg staking there as well, stake Smorg for Pulse and Smorg rewards. So there we go. That is from the team. They've also got a referral token there too. So if that's something suits you, check it out. That's from Opus, one of our smaller innovative teams out there. And then we've got Radon X out there, another sort of cool team there from Crypto Pro. Shouts out Canadian 369 for another solid video there. Very cool. This time breaking down the Radon X ecosystem, and of course we just saw them finish their 3-week auction cycle. Now moving into perpetual auctions, and they've got a lot of other things on the line there. So keep a lookout for that. Indican official, come build an indie film economy with us. So obviously Indican there, big supporters of Pulsechain and filmmaking as well. So big shout out to them. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, so that's right. We run our infrastructure on Pulsechain, but we love any chain with family. So there we go. They are doing some good stuff there. Studios, VC's hype with the old form space there. Taurus Table Talk, Sunday updates with Larry and Taurus. I think that's a new influencer channel there. So a quick look at it. So there we go. A new influencer covering Pulsechain. Very cool, right? So new people coming as well. Very excited to see that. The more people, the better, right? The more people, the better. Jason there went touching grass with the sun, so we got some nice community posts there as well. And of course, Jason there, I think he was in the monster thread about 5 weeks ago, out there with his son having a good time in the old, was it a beach mobile or something, off-roader, looking pretty good. And then finally, Just a Reply Guy released V3 Terminal. So Just Reply Guy, Telegram bot basically, and they've just released that with new integrations, I guess. So check all that out. Not bad. There's a PG. Check it out. Is it? Oh, maybe it's its own DAP actually. But check that out. That's kind of cool on Pulsechain there. Right. So it's kind of cool. What else? We've got a lot of communities to watch list there. That's pretty much from the daily Pulsechain. We've got some cool photos of the Pulsechain community, even more on the main page. Look at that, guys. Having a good time there. It looks like a great spot for an evening meal. And new influencer in the house for Pulsechain, Taurus Table Talk, and a Fat Sammy out there as well. And of course, the community having fun out and about. So pretty cool. So get out and share that around. Very, very nice there on that one. Onwards and upwards, right? So let me just post this. This is the monster thread this week, number 67. You can see that things are ramping up, guys. Things are ramping up on the old Pulsechain. Like I say, the price is up. Protocols are launching. We're having a real Pulsechain, launching boom, and the community is getting really more active, and the influencers are coming out. So some 4 mega themes there right now, and we've seen Richard Hart, making a lot of comments too. So share it around. It's a perfect thing for onboarding people. And also for catching up with all the hottest things happening in the Pulsechain community. There's very few things you're going to miss out with the Pulsechain monster thread. We survey the community with our methods every week, so we have a very good idea of what's going on, and we'd like to bring that to you. All the hottest people in DeFi going on there. So that is the monster threads. Superman, at it like a true champion. I appreciate that, Diamond Hand. Big shout out to you. Always a pleasure to have you in the house. And that is the link to the monster thread. So share it around, give it a good read if you just came in late. But definitely the 67 weeks, guys, hitting about 35 to 50,000 people a week, both existing Pulsechain and new audience as well. We push it out to both of those type of distribution areas there. The more people that repost it, the better. So get out and repost it there. Don't forget to give MVS a follow. He is the editor-in-chief of the monster thread, and of course the Crypto Night Show promotional lead. So if you're a team out there, you want to get involved, get brand awareness, hit them up. And very exciting there as well. All right. And once again, shout out to all the people that are making magic happen on Pulsechain and just enjoying life generally. Very cool to see that. All right, so we're up to an hour, 2 hours on the live stream. Boy, it was a mega stream, but we had a monster thread and we had all the bullish news around the weekly updates. Wednesday, the White House crypto meeting. Thursday, CFTC meeting. We got the manufacturing and employment data Friday, Saturday. It's going to be a big week ahead, and we had nice surprises today with the Treasury Genius Act and Pulsechain holding up at quadruple 01, looking pretty good too, with the room to move higher. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe, smash the likes, onwards and upwards, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun here, and I'll catch you again on tomorrow's show. Thank you, everybody, and bye for now.